All right. I'm going to give the Fathom recording a moment to join us. Welcome, Fathom recording. There we go. Et voila. Okay, and then I'm going to pin us. And oh, yes. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone, to our first meeting of the month of August. So happy to have you all here. I know I say that each time, but each time it is true. And we're going to do our metaphor check-in in a moment, and also a fun special question, which is, because I have pastries on the brain, preference. And maybe we've done this probably, but we're going to widen the palette and do it again. What's your preference? Cookies, scones, pie, croissant, and play with emojis if you feel like it.
It's just baked goods.
Just baked goods, the kinds of things that you can find in a bakery.
Okay.
And points, extra points if you have, if you can tell us what your favorite bakery is in your neighborhood. Because bring us there a little bit. Yes, I am. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Ezra, you want to get us started?
Great. So, I am um, on a pair of skates, and one of them has paused while the other one is going forward really fast. And there are two projects I'm working on, and so I'm getting a lot done, but you know, it does the splits thing on me. Um, and then for baked goods, I mean, I really love I really love the old-fashioned chocolate donuts. Um, yeah. I kind of stopped having that for health reasons, but um and then the bakery that sells them is Piedmont Bakery.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And diner.
That's
Well, the official name is
that's
Piedmont Cafe and
oh,
Bakery,
yeah, bakery, I
but
think.
we call it the diner.
We call it the diner.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. All right. Who would like to go next? Open up. Hugh, I'll put you in the spotlight. Awesome. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. My metaphor check-in for today is um, the train engine is going. I've been shoveling coal into it, and it's building up steam, and the train's starting to move.
Awesome.
And I've been getting a lot of progress. I've rewritten the first two pages of my first chapter about 15 times, and every time it gets a little bit better. It's not there yet, but I'm determined to get those first pages done so that I feel like the rest of my story has some flow to it. But that's not the only thing I've been working on. I've been working on little vignettes and uh, trying to think of some better stuff for some world building. Um, yeah, so it's been going well. So as far as a favorite baked good, it's hard to put my finger on one, but there's two in particular that I find quite good. The black and white cookies. There are in New York City. There's plenty of places that have them. Even bad places have good black and white cookies. They're just delicious. Something about them are amazing. But I also am a sucker for big, thick cinnamon rolls, fresh out of the oven with icing melting on them,
Mm,
and a nice cup of hot coffee right next to it.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to find that fresh,
Mm.
but there are a lot of places that make good cinnamon rolls.
Uh,
And
did
there's a lovely bakery near me in Brooklyn called Lassen and Hennings, and they do some wonderful cakes and pastries. And I'll pick up a slice of red velvet cake from them.
Mhm.
But there's also another place that's very famous. It started off in the West Village called Magnolia Bakery. They're known for their cupcakes, and it's just a single teeny tiny little cupcake will fill you, and they're so good and they're fresh and they're amazing. So I can't pick one, but those two are up there for sure.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful. Ah, thank you. And thanks for that metaphor check-in. So glad things are chugging along. Excellent. Katie, ready to jump in?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I was very busy thinking about bakeries, so I'll come up with a metaphor in a second. But my favorite bakery is Quack's on 43rd. It's in an area of downtown. It's in like the neighborhood that's next to downtown that's like got tons of like old houses. And this one is right next to in a cheese shop that I also like to go to. But it's called Quacks. And my favorite baked good or pastry is a kolache, which is a Texas thing. And like I don't know like what they're how they're actually said, but like in like Europe, they're like the Danish like the little Danish equivalents, but it's like the jelly wrapped with bread. But in Texas, it's usually savory and it's some sort of like sausage and cheese wrapped
Mm.
in bread, and it's so good. Usually the bread's a little sweet, but like not like overpoweringly sweet, and it's
Good.
it's yeah. Um,
Ah, that's wonderful.
Wow.
Thank you,
Great.
Kolache. Kolache. Cool. Thank you. That sounds like from Eastern Europe or something.
y- there it is. Yes. There's a also a Czech stop, so I think it's Czech
Ah,
in origin.
Mm.
interesting. That was my first guess. Awesome. All right, I'll do my metaphor check-in. Me too. We'll start with the bakery. It's obviously on my mind. I really love the chocolate chip scones at our local bakery. Um, and I noticed since I started buying them regularly, they stock more of them. So I must not be the only one either who likes them. And the local bakery is got a French name, and it's La Farine. And I enjoy hanging out there. It was really sad during the pandemic when I couldn't hang out there. I love watching people eat their beautiful little eclair or croissant or slice of cake like with relish. And they just enjoy it, and folks just hanging out and yeah. Uh,
It was tricky because you said with relish, and I thought of the food, but you meant
sorry.
relishly or
Yes,
relishing the,
relishing
yeah,
enjoyment. Yes.
yeah.
Um, and my metaphor check-in. I guess I have kind of a train metaphor as well. Like I'm in a train, it's going up the hill. It feels like the engine is straining, uh, but we're gonna get there eventually. Eventually, we're gonna get there to our destination. There's about 10 more hours to go, like that kind of, oh my God, this is gonna take forever feeling. But I know that we're inching forward. So, uh, a big shout out to Hugh for your edits. Um, and I finished those today, and now I have my critique partner edits. And I just got a long note from a new beta reader who is questioning everything. How come
Mm.
this and how come that? And really signaling to me that I need to change the marketing and change the expectations because this is a different book than the other four books. So that's going to be interesting to figure that out. But that's not a today problem.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. All right. We all did our metaphor check-in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
These are kolaches. This
Oh,
is what
Kalachi, you sent
you
the
found.
link.
He
Or
found
you
a
found. Can you tell
pic.
me again? Oh, wonderful. Should I share screen, everyone, so we
Uh,
can ooh and ah?
sure. I mean, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, let's
yeah,
let's have a moment. Let's have a
It
moment.
looks so good.
Uh,
yeah.
let's
There
see.
might be a
Texas
pop-up.
sausage kolaches. Here we go. Oh, ooh, ah. Does that somewhat resemble what you like, Katie?
Yeah, that's exactly. Usually they're longer, but like you just put the sauce like one full sausage, but mini also works.
Okay, cool. Really fun. So as you may imagine, okay, so I have a free write for you, 5-minute free write. I'd like you to do smell and taste, uh, dialogue, action, and because we're going to talk about it today, noticing noticings on the class system. So if you could grab maybe something that you already have, um, or you can draft something. We're going to be working, I have 4 exercises for us coming up during the teaching as well, because I just thought we should pause with every moment and play. Of course, you can take this and go in whatever direction you want. And yeah. All right, y'all. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, that was 5 minutes. If you want, you can share your thoughts in the chat. That's okay, Hugh. I too only have notes, no, no prose. So I'm just gonna paste my notes in there. A bit of a ramble, but here you go. Typos and all. As you got something?
Yeah. All right. Here we go. I just need to copy it.
I got woken up by a cat at 4:30 this morning. I'm a bit fuzzy-headed tonight. Yeah, Katie's main character's name is Beth.
All right.
You want to read this one?
Yeah. Okay. It's Katie's. Beth, sweetheart, wake up. Mom's honeyed voice dissolved the golden coast of Los Angeles like sea foam sinking into hot sand. I clung to that fading world, the ocean breeze that curled my blonde hair into mermaid waves, salt and citrus that sat sharp on my tongue. A firm hand squeezed my shoulder, jostling me round enough that even the deepest sleeper would stir. I'm up, I'm up. I shrugged the hand off my shoulder, but didn't open my eyes. Dad cleared his throat, clearly not buying my half-hearted response. I'll be back soon, for real next time. Just 2,300 miles and 24 hours stood between me and that promise. Then it was a whole week where no one knew me. More importantly, they didn't know about Neil. A week away from every careful, pitying look I would never escape here, where I was the girl whose boyfriend died. If that's what you'd call what happened. The world outside held on to that sleepy quiet that comes just before dawn. So he really didn't have much to stand on, being impatient. The birds weren't even awake yet. I,
I feel like you just dropped us in. That's great. So
Yeah.
New book opening.
book opening.
Wow, that's great.
If I may comment, damn.
Bam.
I read a part poorly, so
Oh, that's
sorry
okay.
about that.
It's all right.
That's why I chuckled.
Yeah. Um,
All right, yours. Yeah.
yeah. Again, no worries, Hugh. We'll be playing with more things. Yeah, mine are just notes, not prose. Just me journaling right now.
Jenny sees the people with the different tasks, and there does seem to be an elder, younger thing going on. She's keyed into that. Jobs all are valued, it seems. Individually is celebrated and community is vibrant.
Individuality.
Individuality, yes, is celebrated and community is vibrant. Okay. Rich, poor. The rich seem to take what they want. The crimes are often rooted in issues around money and power.
Yeah. This is me brainstorming. All
Great.
right.
This is a clip from Hansel and Gretel where Alice becomes a man. Um, on the way, Alice wiped her hands on her breeches, took out a sweet-smelling bread roll Osana had given her, and took a bite. Mmm, the dough was chewy and comforting. Stay, that roll is mine, cried a gentleman. The man held a cane and wore fancy lederhosen. Guard! In the distance, a guard hustled closer. What are you talking about? Alice said. This roll is mine. Perhaps, muttered the man with a grin, but I feel a bit peckish. And who will the guard believe? An aristocrat or a pauper?
Ah, get right to the heart there. The class system. Great job. Excellent. Really fun. All right. Okie dokie. So let's move on to the lesson. And I have a whole thing. Let's see if I can call it up easily. Word. Oh, I have my whole book open. Okay. Where is it? Sometimes if you don't have it in a primary position, there it is. It doesn't show up. Okay. Go.
Yeah.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Didn't even recognize it. Okay. Cool. I'm going to hide video panel. There we go. All right. Today we're going to talk about your story's class systems. We're going to define it. I have 5 elements of a class system with an exercise, writing exercise. I have some really interesting examples that we have time to read through. Another exercise, why include class systems in your stories? Another exercise, and how to include class systems in your stories with a brainstorm, those questions from Hugh, which are awesome brainstorming questions, and then another exercise, and then summary and resources. Everybody ready to dive in? And here's my fun graphic I made. Okay, defining class systems. I'm going to read a quote from Build Better Worlds, a book I've quoted. I interviewed the author, Michael Kilman, co-author. This is what they say. Regardless of the culture, there are always outcasts or those that live on the margins of society. In small-scale communities, these tend to be only a handful of people, but in large states or cities, there tends to be an entire class of people considered to be less worthy of attention or respect. This is cultural purity at work again. The perceptions of the poor or working class are directly related to concepts of purity surrounding wealth and money. And that's his premise. They talk about the authors talk about class, they connect class layers to cultural purity. So essentially, every culture defines what is good and what is bad, what is pure and what is impure. And they're coming from an anthropological perspective. So I found that really interesting. And then I found another definition as it relates to speculative fiction, which we all write. A class system in speculative fiction refers to the social stratification within a society, how people are ranked, separated, or divided by wealth, birth, occupation, merit, race, magic, or even physical traits. So it could be all of any one of these or something else. And I thought I would open it up and find out was there any other definitions that occur to you when we talk about what a class system is?
I think because I'm thinking of, well, I guess it maybe depends on how old your main character is. Obviously, like writer perspective is very important, but when I'm thinking about my book, where it's a 16-year-old girl who's quite privileged, and will live an even more privileged life in another world, there's like there's also this like, like do you have to think about your like status and like that class system of like those things don't occur to people who don't have to think about it, but the moment you do is the moment you start changing. Um, that's kind of where my brain went when I was thinking about where class comes into my story. And also she's from Asheville, North Carolina, so uh yeah, like that kind of like piece kind of plays into it too, where it's the Americas. Um, so yeah, I think there's like this undercurrent of like, do you even recognize
Mm.
your like class? And then beyond that too, like I think one other piece is like things that have happened around you, like luck. Maybe luck is like you don't want to hang out with somebody who's, you don't want to get into a car with somebody who's been in a car accident recently, even if they're a great driver. Like you're just hesitant to get in a car with someone. So like this like idea of like the things that have happened to somebody, maybe that's merit. But
Hmm. Yeah, that could be merit. We've
Superstition.
Hi.
uh,
Hi, guys.
hi, Nicole. Glad you're here.
Hey.
Uh,
Yep.
what was that, Hugh?
That just what Katie was saying, that if somebody was just in a car accident, you don't want to be driving with them, but that comes from some sort of superstition.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm. So somehow superstition connected to social standing.
So, or events, events that happen, signs, omens. And I'm thinking more like in a religious way that
Hmm. And how does that connect to class? Uh,
well, I'm thinking of um because I've been doing a lot of studying about religions recently, and I'm thinking people who are chosen and those who are not,
mm,
those who are like if you think of the India in India, the caste system, that people are born into a caste that you can't change.
yeah.
Certain castes are considered greater or lesser,
Hmm.
or even in a religion, um, you might be chosen because of birthright or lineage or something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, uh, and uh, and perhaps people who have had like bad events, bad things happen to them, they're considered outcasts, like
Mm,
their bad luck or their jinxes. So
mhm.
they are so in a class, so they would be considered uh like not part of any class. They would be sort of pushed outside of it, out of the system, banished.
Yeah. And that really fits with the pure impure. Like, oh, if
Yes, I guess it does relate to it. Pure, impure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if too many bad things happen to you, that would put you out on the outside of the society. Um, yeah. Ezra, you have something?
Yeah. So
I notice you working on something.
there's something called moralmachine.net, where the goal was to see what people think for a self-driving car, how to train it if there's like a trolley problem of which path to go that would cause an accident, but
Hmm.
be the word, the lesser of two evils. And in some countries, uh, uh, babies were more valued than older people. So, like maybe
Hmm.
the US. But in like Japan, for example, the elders are more valued than
Hmm.
babies. So,
Hmm.
and then you can see like men are more valued than women.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's um, I forget how to see the results of moralmachine.net, but there's a technologyreview.com,
Can you
or
copy and
yeah,
paste the
this.
link and put it in the chat? I'll add it to this. Really interesting. I mean, and at core, this is about who is more pure, who is more better, who is better, more pure. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Nicole, we're talking about class systems this week, and I know you have some in your um, story. So, how would you define a class system for your story?
Um, I guess like the elemental, the different versions of elementals, and I started working on a document called the career caste system, which is like the the um the babies they pick an object and that kind of determines what career, and then they get apprenticed by their mom, and they still have the school uh, curriculum, but then they get apprenticed by their mom on the weekends, and that kind of determines what their career cast is.
Hmm.
Oh, what a great example.
Wow.
Well, that's a great segue into some examples. And thanks for these links, Ezra. Uh, see if that, well, anyway. So let's look at a few examples. Oh, actually, before we go into examples, I thought let's pause and have you do a little bit of brainstorming for your story. Now, this is just based on what you've already brainstormed for your story and just making some notes, kind of like what I was doing earlier today. So let's just call that 5. I called it 5+ in case we come up with another piece of criteria, but let me just take off the pluses. So there's 5 criteria for a caste system. Nicole, I'm just going to mute you for a sec. So we have the criteria for division. So what is it like right now in your story as you've already thought about it? Is status derived from birth, education, talent, occupation, loyalty, race/species, merit? Merit could be, magical merit, or it could be some other kind of merit. So that's criteria for division. Layers of hierarchy. And like our culture is pretty much has got a lot of different criteria for division, including gender, race, what we call race, and money. I don't know where that fits in. Layers of hierarchy. How many tiers or castes are there? Nobles, merchants, peasants, or alpha, beta, epsilon, which is from a novel that I'll mention later. Social mobility. Can individuals move between classes? Or, could it be through marriage or merit, like learning? Actually, doesn't even say learning, rebellion, talent, power and responsibility. How does class determine power and social duty? Who governs, who works, who's marginalized? So different classes are assigned, oh, you're the political class, you have this social duty because of where you were born or how you were born. Visibility. Are class boundaries obvious through some kind of marking, clothing, color, physical form, or more subtle, like you get visible through networking or access? And I don't know if there's any other criteria that jump out at everyone, at anyone. Or we'll just keep it, maybe we should just keep it 5. But if something comes to you, you're welcome to add it. So I thought we'd spend 5 minutes on this, just brainstorming elements, the 5 elements of a class system, and see, just to bring yourself up to date with what's going on in your story and bring some attention there. And I also want to say that if you don't know, ask yourself questions. You don't have to have the answers today, but you could wonder, I wonder, is it this? Is it that? Or I wonder what it is or what it could be. So if you don't have answers, questions are great too. They might spark you. And no wrong answer, right? This is all based on your own work. Great. Any questions? Everyone good with that?
You'll
Yeah.
copy that in the
You want me
chat?
to? Yeah, I'll put it in the
That'd be
chat.
great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure. So I'm going to close my screen. Yeah, I'm going to turn off the camera in a moment so y'all can have some writing time. Great. We'll do 5 minutes, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. Dokie. So let's pause and you can share in the chat if you want, but you don't have to. Ezra, you want to read yours just as an example?
Yeah, so the criteria for division, wealth and gender were really the ones. Hierarchy, I'd say the farmers had the most power because this is during a time of famine, so they can charge more for their wares. Social mobility, the only thing I could think of is there's a magic stone, and so a person can swap bodies, and so that would have them trade into a wealthy body. And then in this realm where women are mistreated, they could swap into a male body.
Mm.
Power, farmers again, visibility. The wealthy get all the attention because they have the money, and so they have the possibility to, let me serve you so I can get money so I can buy food.
And is it very visibly clear who's rich and who's poor? That's what
By the clothes, yeah.
Yeah, by the clothes. That's what the visibility is about. Like, how can you notice? Great. We have Katie's and we have Hugh. You want to read Katie's?
Yeah, so let's see. Birth and magical merit and loyalty. There's a little need for entrepreneurship and savvy, but for the most part, it's the royals and then everyone else is in motion between classes. So think capitalism, but with royals overseeing laws and not financial well-being. And then the next part, layers of hierarchy, royals, nobles, merchants, peasants. But there are also native tribes to my portal world who have a different structure around elders.
So elders are the high in the hierarchy, and
Yeah, they're like the leadership, but not it's flat, but there are decision makers that are elected.
okay, who tend to be the elders.
Yeah, it is almost like an age thing where it's like you gain more wisdom as you get older, and in the very real sense that that actually happens for the most part. And so, yeah, that's kind of the idea that they've a majority of the tribes that exist in my world have adopted.
Okay, great. Ezra, you want to keep going?
Yeah, so social mobility can't happen, or can happen with merit and learning and loyalty or service. There's nothing stopping people from improving or losing status. The only really determined class aligns around the royals. They're the heirs of the original founding families and are the only ones who with access to magic manipulation at the time of my story. And then close to differentiate, but also living in different areas, non-capital versus small cities versus villages. Oh, that's a good point.
That's really interesting. All right, Hughes.
Great. Classes in my story: rich, poor, royalty, nobles, merchants, peasants, mages versus non-magical. Within the mages, criteria for division, people are born with magic or aren't for those that do have magic. Layers of hierarchy. There are those with stronger magic, and they are ranked by a series of tests. And then social mobility. You cannot change your level among the mages. You can practice and get good at magic, but once you reach a peak and complete the tests, you don't change. Power and responsibility. Those who are strongest with magic become the masters of specific disciplines or even help govern the mages at the Academy Island where the mages live. Those who are strong become contractors to the world outside the Magic Academy, getting paid. Money goes back to the mages to help getting paid to help out with problems in the non-magical world. Those with the weakest magic live at the docks on the island, seaside, maintaining commerce and ships and such. They don't live in the luxurious parts of the island inside the city wall. They still use magic to help themselves, but the magic is often too weak. This is really cool. Um, Visibility. The class boundaries are visible by symbols etched into magic belts, colors of attire, etc. One can often feel another's power. Oh, that's cool.
So that would be like less visible, perhaps. Yeah, really interesting.
That's true. It's not visible, but it is visceral.
Visceral, yeah, no, that's very interesting. Like, what if someone didn't wear a belt or their colors, and then, but another could sense their power or status. Uh, Nicole, do you have anything new to add about your class system? Like, you said it was through education, right? I wrote notes what you said. Sorry, my brain is a career caste system. So can they, are they born into it, or it's through education that it's determined?
They're kind of born into it. I mean, they get apprenticed by their mom, and then they take classes and stuff. And then, I mean, I'm guessing there are other class systems like my world has intergalactic queens and village and city queens, and so,
And is that determined by birth or election or a war, or how are the queens determined?
I think I'm thinking probably birth, and then I mean they would get voted in, but it's kind of determined by birth, and then my world also has female knights.
Female knights, that's great. That's great. And is it obvious who is the powerful, who are the knights and the queens, and what education you've received? Are those visible by clothing or something that indicates it to others?
If you only thing that would be obvious, like if you're, I don't think it's really obvious as far as like, so like if your mom was a writer and you were one too, that wouldn't necessarily be obvious, but it would be obvious in the school because you would be wearing a particular like colored garment, which would determine your level, if you're intermediate or advanced or beginner or.
That's great. So within the school system, it would be obvious, but outside of it, it wouldn't, because you wouldn't be wearing those colors.
Definitely, yeah.
That's great. So interesting. Excellent. So interesting to hear this. It really brings the story alive.
Makes me think of being a black belt at writing.
There you go. Or a black belt at writing. Let's go through some examples that might spark ideas for you. Real books. Brave New World by Aldous. How do we say his first name? Huxley. I don't know how to say his first name. So his Brave New World, artificial genetic hierarchy. He had alpha, betas, gammas, deltas, and epsilons that were distinctly bred for function. The lowest classes lack personality or literacy, and they're kept docile with drugs. Rising, I did read Brave New World when I was in high school. Red Rising by Pierce Brown, which I have not read. Caste or color-coded splits. Society divided into 14 color castes with specialized roles. Highest castes are physically engineered, lowest do menial labor. Interesting. 1984 by George Orwell. I did read that. Maybe I'll have read it too. Political stratification. He had three classes. Inner party was the elite, outer party bureaucrats, and the proles, who are the workers with social freedom but little power. Dragon Flight by Anne McCaffrey, and I would say all of her Dragon Rider series. I did read them as a teenager. It's feudal and guild based. So the dragon riders are at the top of the hierarchy. Lords control regions, master crafters run guilds, and it's got a medieval inspiration. Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I haven't read his work yet. Hereditary and physical traits are what determine hierarchy. Light eyes are nobility and leaders. Dark eyes are lower class. Prejudice is explicit and shapes society. Hunger Games, I saw the movies by Suzanne Collins. Geographic and class division. Districts 1 through 12 are stratified by wealth and importance. The capital is at the peak, and the outer districts are oppressed. Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi. Magical hierarchy. Magic users are divided. Witches oppressed, mages in power, but functional difference is minimal. I haven't read that yet. Dark Elf Trilogy by R.A. Salvatore. House and religious caste. Drizzt City has complex noble houses, religious castes, status tied to family and worship. And I could keep going. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Snowpiercer, Game of Thrones. And then I pulled out a few that are more, that are dealing with classless societies. And I'm just going to name two here. The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. Her novel centers on the anarchist planet Anaris, which is designed as a classless society. No formal hierarchies or economic classes. Instead, resources are distributed according to need, and everyone contributes labor according to ability. The book explores the challenges and contradictions of maintaining classlessness, but the world structure is explicitly anti-hierarchical. And I was wondering, I know Hugh, I was wondering, Hugh, if you've read this book.
I have not, but now I want to.
Oh, cool. And Katie says, what's interesting about a lot of my book, I'm realizing, is that all of the royals that my reader POV character encounters are in hiding and not visible. Yeah, so interesting. And then I'm going to mention one more. And I did read, I think I read one of the books in this trilogy, the Mars trilogy by Kim Stanley Robinson. Red Mars, Green Mars, Blue Mars. Now I just realized I did not. I read something else by him. The settlers on Mars strive for a classless and egalitarian society, especially during certain periods and communities in the trilogy. Through collective decision-making, social experimentation, and ongoing debates, Robinson imagines a future where class, wealth, and privilege are regularly challenged or minimized. I thought that was interesting. I'd like to read that. And then one more, the Culture series by Ian M. Banks. I haven't read that. While not entirely without conflict, Banks's Culture series represents a post-scarcity, highly egalitarian civilization without formal classes, money, or inherited privilege. Advanced technology provides for all material needs, and status is largely based on individual reputation, choice, and personal fulfillment rather than birth or wealth, though some critics argue subtle hierarchies remain. So that's interesting. So
It reminds me a little bit of Star Trek.
yes, that's what came to mind too.
Because
Star Trek.
even though there are clear hierarchy, Captain, Admiral, etc., but everyone is, it's like, well, not counting credits or anything, but there's you get the food makers, or everyone gets what they need, and their their status is largely based on their choice. Like, I want to be, an engineer, or I want to be a doctor. So
And then you have to work your way through the military hierarchy. Great. I thought we might just pause here. Do folks want to pause and do a little bit of any edits or additions to your list of elements? Or shall we keep going? What's this?
I think we should keep going.
Let's keep going. All right. So let's answer the question, why? Why include class systems in your stories? And as I was thinking about this today, as I was making this lesson, well, perplexity gave me the first sentence. Designing class systems is a vital part of world building as it shapes characters' goals, conflicts, and perspectives. And so my interpretation of that is it adds verisimilitude. We're all from cultures that have status built into them, a class system of some kind. So we need to know how our characters think about their class systems. It adds so much to who they are.
Um, Remind the audience, me, what verisimilitude means.
Verisimilitude is a fabulous word that one of our our critique partner, Bill, would always use in critique group. It basically means it seems real. It appears to be real. It adds we think it's real, but it's not real, but we're making it seem real. I think it's also important to include because because we're in a class system society, uh, writing our own, including in our stories means we get to explore it. We get to explore our thoughts, our feelings, our judgments, um, also our wish fulfillment, also making things the way we wish they were. Um, as a way to explore what could be. What else? Like what motivated you, Hugh, to bring it up?
I'm sorry, to bring up what?
To to study class systems. Why did you
Oh, I'm
say
sorry. I am tired. Uh, yeah, no, it because it just it seemed to be coming up in my story,
Mm-hmm.
like who's better than whom, and especially with my POV character trying to move his way up among the mages and he can't, and it made me think about class systems there,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the conflict between the mages and the religious people, which was something that I've added recently,
Mm-hmm.
as well as thinking about because the it's a kingdom in my story. There's a monarchy. There's a class system there, and um, just
Mm-hmm.
trying to add a little bit of reality to it. Um, so yeah, when you have a class system, it helps. It's sort of built-in conflict right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't really have to try because once you look at those different elements and you think of people who want more social mobility or feel like, hey, I wasn't born into this group, but I exhibit the characteristics, so I should be part of the group. And so yeah, it's yeah, it just the conflict writes itself when you really kind of construct some very specific class systems.
Mm-hmm.
We
Absolutely.
also add history. How did the classes evolve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
I like that. Yeah.
and that can be telling to the story and the world that you're in, where it came from.
Yeah. That's great. Any other reasons why you want to include class systems in your stories? Anybody else want to chime in? All right.
I mean, really, I feel like it's great storytelling involves conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see who are the challenged and who are the privileged,
Mm-hmm.
um, it becomes then you don't have just the conflict of um, trying to achieve a goal that someone doesn't want you to achieve. You have these other conflicts that can go into that as well. Trying to achieve a goal that takes place in a castle while you're a peasant.
So it's
So
like
now,
makes the scope of the story bigger. Like it, um, yeah,
yeah.
bigger. Okay, cool. Katie, did you have anything you want to add? Like why you want to include class systems awareness in your story?
I think maybe I said it earlier, but I'll repeat it. It's also it's a great way for your character not just to find conflict, but like to realize like things about themselves and like that ability to go, oh, I am privileged, or I am not privileged. Maybe, sometimes people Most of the time that's not the truth, but sometimes people don't realize that they are like looked down upon until like they see it from a different angle. So it allows for like a internal journey, and like self-discovery. And I think, my character's a lot younger than I'm writing young adult. She's 16 when it starts, and it's one of those things where it's you have a lot of growing up to do at that point,
Mhm.
and like being able to see it from a different perspective is a great way to grow your character beyond just themselves.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Um, Great. And how about you, Nicole? Is there any reason why do you want to include the class systems in your story?
I guess so that I know what I'm working with, and so that other people, if they want to, at some point, I'm going to create like a world building file which has all these documents in there. So if people want to research, read, it's going to be like a companion guide to the
Mhm.
world.
Yeah, yeah. It's important to write that all down. That's really great. And I notice that I'm always working with this rich-poor dichotomy. So if you want, you don't have to do it today, but another time, if you want to continue to journal on it as a prompt, why is it important to you to include the class systems in your story can be a fun prompt to play with. Um, so let's do another free write if y'all are into it. I really love these questions, Hugh, that you gave us.
Mm.
These are great brainstorming questions. I'm going to read them out loud. You can just pick one for this free write. I'm going to place them in the chat. And
And
then,
then I was going to ask, would gender shifters be considered a class?
well, it sounds like it because you have your gender shifters and those who don't shift gender. Then,
Right.
and what makes it a class is if they are given privileges or if they are either given things are taken away from them that other people have. Are they considered good? Are they considered bad? And by whom? Now you have some kind of hierarchy, some kind of judgment is
Okay.
happening. So
Well,
yeah.
they are definitely discriminated against.
Yep. Then in that case, then what they don't have. So let me read these questions and you can brainstorm on them. Like I
Okay.
said, just pick one for the neck and we'll do a little free write. So number one, how does class, as you define it in your own story, affect the protagonist? Or you could also say affect the story as a whole. You get to choose what your focus is here. And you may have already answered this in a brainstorm, previous one, but if you want to brainstorm on this, go ahead. How is class determined? Is it by birth? Is it by initiation? Is it by money? Is it some tasks or quests or some other means? Uh, is the class system good or bad? I would say from whose point of view are you asking this question? What's the POV for good or bad? Some people might hate it, right? Like revolutionaries, people who want to rebel against the system would say it's bad. People who benefit might say it's good. So maybe from your POV character, is it good or bad? Number four, how does the protagonist or the antagonist fight against the class system or maybe enhance the class system? And that's almost like two questions, right? You could look at it from the protagonist point of view or the antagonist. And going
Wow.
back to your question about history, what prejudices or history brought about the class system's creation for your story. So just pick one of these as a prompt and we'll do some writing. Maybe instead of 5 minutes, we'll do 3 minutes. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds good. And I sent you the file. I know it's late, but anyway.
Yeah, we're going to keep going. We have another 22 minutes to go. So everyone will go on mute and I'll see you all in 3 minutes. Right. That was 3 minutes. Take a moment to wrap up, and if you want, you could share what you did. Hughes and Ezra, you posting for them?
Yeah.
Great. Wow. Excellent. Can you read the
Yeah.
comments?
This is Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
Class within the mages is central to the protagonist's conflict. His magic is waning when he was once a prodigy. He is unable to pass the master trials and is in danger of being sent to the docks. He has wrapped his whole self-worth around this, especially with how he was bullied growing up as his magic grew inexplicably weaker and weaker. He wanted to show them as much as he wanted to prove himself to his increasingly impatient and often abusive master teacher. He was an orphan and was brought to the academy at the age of 4, when most were discovered and brought at the age of 10 to 12. He never knew his parents except for other mages, so that was where his approvals and sense of self came from.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Really, really interesting. Great. And I invite you to keep brainstorming on the other questions, Hugh, later.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, this is good stuff.
good stuff. Yeah, I love these questions that you gave us. These are good. All right, Ezra, you want to read yours?
Yeah, I chose how does the protagonist fight a class system? So Osana and her father, their family, who are kind of rich because they're bread they're bakers, they make bread. So
The bread and butter comes from their bread.
yes, exactly. So um, Osana said, "We have enough grain and bread to feed the village, and the village is starving. Why should we charge such high prices and make the poor suffer?" Her father sighed as if relieved. "I am proud of you." He gave her a brief embrace. "How pleased I am that you have such concerns. I have indeed raised a good daughter. Understand, my child, should we give our bread to the entire village, it would feed them for one day. Upon the morrow, all would go hungry, including ourselves. The fee I impose is what I must insist upon to then pay for the provisions you and I require from the other vendors to survive, provisions that will keep us healthy, like fruits and vegetables." "These are hard choices," her father said. "Still, my daughter, never must you lose your generous spirit. Verily, stay clear from the poor parts of town."
That's great. So what I love about what Ezra did is he put it into a dialogue. So what if, Hugh or anybody working on this, that you had one person ask another, well, how come it's this way? Right? That's what you did.
Right.
Did your protagonist, Hugh, at a younger age say, well, how come I'm the only kid here? Right? Like when before the other, or how come I'm the only one like me? Or how, I don't know. He could ask some other how come question. But kids are always wondering why this and why that. So if you make a little vignette of him when he's younger, questioning the system, wondering, yeah, that could be really interesting. Yeah, you want to read Katie's?
Yeah, here's Katie's. Antagonist, a king of one of the 5 kingdoms, deeply believes he's better than the rest of the world and the chosen one, via prophecy with the destiny to rule over all of Lascar. He goes so far as to attempt to assassinate other royals and begin a war across the world to make it so, pushing the class system as far as forced service for fighting his war. His kingdom is by far the most brutal and controlled, and has little mobility or diversity, something my main character will see automatically as bad versus other kingdoms that still aren't good, but better than that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, really great knowing what your main character thinks, yeah, of the other system. And for you, Nicole, did you pick one of these questions to brainstorm on?
Um, I think so. I'm not sure which one I picked, but I did start kind of writing that gender shifters have always been discriminated against.
Yeah, and you might even have a story, like someone might say, well, how come gender shifters have always been discriminated against? You might want to develop an answer for that as well. Excellent. I'm really glad that you're working on that. Great. So you'll all get a copy of this when I send out the replay pretty soon. So today we talked about designing class systems to add authenticity to your story, help you with conflict. Your story's hierarchies will really help you shape your protagonist's lives. They can motivate conflict, obviously, and also can echo the way the real world is or subvert, can have a commentary. That's also what's great about our genre is we can have a commentary because we can invent new things and subtly comment or not so subtly comment on today's world. Hugh, thank you so much for suggesting this topic. There's tons and tons of resources, and including, Ezra reminded me, you're going to need a bigger story, the 21st Century Survival Guide to not just telling stories, but building super stories, which only exists in print, unfortunately, and its layout is crappy. But it's a good book, and the workbook is even better. And then there's tons of articles that I pulled from, well, actually, Perplexity pulled from, and you can even see my Perplexity research here with the link. So that is our lesson. I know you might need to drop off, Hugh. I totally understand if you need to go. We're going to do a little bit of live edits. This is, I'm the
Got
writer.
my second wind. I can stick it out for 10 more minutes.
You can stick
Right.
it out. Thank you so much.
Right.
We're going to look at a rewrite, yet another rewrite of the opening of my current work in progress, including the um, little epigraph and time marker. So any and all feedback is welcome. I'm in the final, the final phase, but I'm still open to feedback. Things are still in motion. So Ezra, can you see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the epigraph, the first one, primary star, we always know where you are. When we're lost, we look to you to reground us and show us the way toward our own light. And that's a centering prayer from the Stars, Rites, and Rituals. This takes place 2132, March 3rd, 2 a.m. UTC, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Las Cruces, Spaceport, New Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico Assessment Region in North America. You scared my auntie. Who is this? Jenny McAllister said with her cool professional voice and put a little steel in it. What is this regarding? She glanced at Auntie Teresa, Tia Teresa, who was slouched at the kitchen table staring into her saffron rose tea. Tia had taken the video call in the kitchen, while Janie was busy in the living room wrapping up an evening hollow meeting. Tia had leaned against the threshold of the kitchen and living room, pale and hugging herself. Janie must have made a sound because Janie turned to her.
Sorry.
Tia must have made a sound because Janie turned to her. What's wrong? Who is it? Janie asked. Your grandmother, Tia Teresa said, practically sliding down the door jamb. No, she said that last bit at a scared whisper. Jenny rushed to her aunt, propped her up, assisted her to the kitchen table, and brought her tea. Only then did she turn to the video screen on the kitchen cupboard. She glared at the grayed out silhouette. Whoever had scared her auntie, her Tia, like that, deserved to know the older woman had a protector. What's this about my grandmother? She's dead, Jenny blurted. It's an urgent matter that requires your immediate attention. Immediatamente. the person clipped out.
Thank you. And it stops there. So is
It
not
should
to,
be
huh?
inmediatamente or immediatamente.
No,
Uh,
that's the correct spelling.
yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
looked it up. Yes.
Oh,
correct
okay.
spelling.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I just noticed this needs to be great feedback. Ezra made changes that he suggested. I don't know if it's enough, but
Well, I saw a previous version of this beginning.
yeah.
Uh, wow, this is so much better.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's tremendously improved. And just one nitpick,
Yes.
the accent is on the I, not the A.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Otherwise, it would be tia.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll fix that. Great. Thank you. Excellent. How about you, Ezra? You're the one who said I should put more of what happened to the ant in there.
Yeah, I'm still wanting
Even more?
um kind of like the opening Jenny heard her aunt's tone.
You don't want me to put it in out of order, is what I'm
Right.
hearing. Okay.
That's just
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah. No,
That was the comment I was gonna make, where it's like the phone was ringing, and that's how it like opens with a sound.
mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, well, I'm on a meeting, like my Tia's going to go answer it. Like
Mm-hmm.
having that like small little structure there.
Yeah. No, I hear you guys. Yeah, and it's so interesting. I normally write always in linear order,
Yeah.
and people are not liking it, things out of order. And I'm like, okay, now that
I think it's
I get a,
because you scared my auntie is such a strong line.
yeah.
I it's almost like it's a little bit like of a too strong of an opener, if that makes any sense, where it's like it
Mhm.
it's like who
Right.
which is like I think the point you were trying to make, but
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. Like, wait, I don't even know who this person is. Why should I care?
Right.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. I hear you guys. No, that's very good. Very good. Just to put myself in the hot seat, this is about the 50th, 60th revision of the opening of this book. And this is not actually the opening anymore because I have a little prologue, which someone said, which has 4 parts. And they're like, I like one of them, take out the rest. So, saffron rose tea sounds so good. Yeah, I actually saw it or smelled it or something. And it was, how your life is happening and you hear something and you just put it in your story. So that's
Yep.
where that came from.
That was the last time I visited the beach. That's where the like ocean breeze conversation, like thoughts came from, where it's like I was at the beach a month ago, and it was just, one of those things where it was like, yes, like this is the feeling. And like the mermaid hair, that's a big thing that happens at the beach.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so vivid. Uh,
The one thing challenging for me for the tea was maybe indicate that took just 3 seconds to make or something.
oh, you were
There's someone on
wondering
the
about
phone,
that. Yeah.
and she
Okay.
probably want to tell that guy off. But I understand wanting to comfort the auntie, but
Ah,
not at the cost of waiting for water to
I
boil
see.
first and then
Okay.
making the tea.
Made fast. Got it. Which of course, it's the future. Everything's fast.
Right.
No, that's a good point. Good. Anything else anyone wants to comment on?
I think deserved to know is like this could just be me not knowing Janie's voice quite as well, because it sounds very professional. Like
Mhm.
deserved to know is very professional, and in a moment of like her being really upset that her Tia's scared, like I almost wanted to be like this jerk needed to like learn a lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like toward the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Actually, because I could picture
But
that would reveal her state of mind. in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to think about this because
Was her hollow call or her hollow meeting like a hard meeting? Because that could also tinge it too, where it was like she was having a really bad day and now somebody's messing with her aunt. I,
exactly, yeah. I mean, this is a whole context that I cut from a previous version. She's actually in her very last teaching class. She's teaching a class. And
Right.
this call is coming in as she's already saying goodbye to all of her students and everything. So it's
she's
more of an emotional, I want it to be, and you're right, none of that comes into this scene. I want it to be an emotional moment for her and
yeah.
something she really doesn't want to step away from. And
I
yeah.
I wonder if like that goodbye, like a moment of like her saying goodbye and like that emotional like context, just like a line or two where it's like
Mm.
her saying goodbye to her favorite student or something and like feeling the tears welling up. Because it's so easy to go from like sad and upset to boiling angry. Like you've got water already happening, it's easy to make it boil. So, I think that that would, yeah.
Hmm. Oh, I love that.
And
Let's see.
sorry to counter, I'm not sure
Saffron tea.
how
Just need to take a look.
to.
Oh, there it is. See, it exists. Um,
I'm not sure how to first care about the character before um feeling sadness. But
it's the thing. It's like there's so many things going on. I have to pick and choose
right,
what is being happening. So, I mean, this is all good food for thought.
I well, sorry, I know it's time to go, but um, I'm picturing what if she says like hearing her auntie shouting says, "I'm sorry, I gotta cut this call short," and it was the last thing she wanted to do, but something was up downstairs. Um,
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll think about that. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. That was so awesome. So much to think about. And yeah, like I said, 50th edition of the opening of the book. Thanks for that.
I know the feeling, Beth. Yep.
Yeah, yep, yep. And I really am, some writers are like, oh, 3 passes, I'm done. I'm like, well, good for you, but that's not how I operate. Anyway, all right. Thanks again, everyone. Next time, I know Katie, you gave me some topics, so we're gonna jump to Katie's topic next time, and Hugh, then we'll come back to yours. And if
Oh
anyone,
yeah, it doesn't matter what order it's in. All
yeah,
the good.
yeah, I can't even remember what it is right now. I could tell you 1 second. I'm starting to get really organized and keep a spreadsheet.
Is this my topic that I suggested?
Yeah,
Uh, Multiplayer dialogue and like keeping everybody moving, everybody in dialogue naturally,
yeah,
and like using grammar to help make it seem real.
yeah.
I love that. I need help.
Yeah,
Yep.
a good
right.
one.
Yeah.
And Nicole, I see you already sent me your piece. Awesome. You'll be the next writer. So yeah, a few words if you want to put in the chat, everyone. And I will check in with you in just a second, Nicole. Any takeaways from today's call, your next steps, what you want to be working on when so by the time we meet again, you will have done that. We meet in 2 weeks on the 21st. I'll give folks a moment to do that. Like, hold up my calendar.
Write it down in your brain.
Can you read them as? What are people saying?
Yeah, I said to use class more for more conflict.
Excellent.
And Kitty said, I need to write down my class system, not just in my brain.
Yes, everyone needs to write it down. Excellent. Anything else?
Great.
There's a few fun things going on. My friend Stacy is running a sale in her community. Look at that, the image got copied over. I don't, no one here is local, but I'm teaching as tomorrow, no, Saturday, World Building Essentials, how to craft immersive story settings in Napa. And then coming up in about 2 weeks is a fabulous sales email summit that Liz Wilcox will be running. I'm an affiliate for that, and I have to like drop my thoughts into the Voxer, so it could be part of the summit. And I think that's it for right now. Yeah. Anybody else have any other announcements? No, Katie and Hugh, thank you so much for your next steps. Did we get everybody's next steps and ahas and everything? And Nicole, what is one thing that you will do between now and 2 weeks from now?
I guess I'll do some more brainstorming on these class systems. You know, I guess I can try to figure out where I can create a story about somebody. I don't know who would ask about gender shifters unless it's like someone who, I don't know. I can't really come up with anyone who would ask like what, you know, why are they always just, unless it's a gender shifter themselves wanting to know
Right.
or something.
Yes, someone in the class themselves would say, "How come it's like this? How come we are treated so poorly?"
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
So, yeah, so maybe I can work that into my next submission. You want to talk about the 50th opening? Well, I literally just sat there and revised.
Excellent. I'm so happy to see that. Great. And Hugh
And then, you know, we're leaving the 9th, so I will try to make it, but I don't know. I don't know where we'll be on the first.
okay. Well, if you can't come to the call next time, we'll have to wait. Ezra's phone is making sounds. If you're not going to be in the call on August, it'll be August 21st. Will you
Yeah.
be here for August 21st?
I don't know because we'll still be out of town, so I don't know if we'll be where I can get online or anything.
Okay.
I won't be.
Well, then we'll do it the next time. We'll do it the following time, okay? When you're here.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
I just want to acknowledge Hugh's aha. Class can really affect a story. I have more ideas now. Oh, that's so great.
Yay. What an awesome topic.
Yeah, it's such a great topic, so juicy. I put in the correct link for Stacy's sale. Lots of cool things are on sale there. I think that's it. Yeah, did we cover everything? Drink your saffron tea, everyone. Oh, you know, I must have had it and thought it was stellar because, yeah, I have fond. Yes, Hugh.
I just ordered it.
Oh my God.
Ordered it from Amazon. It comes Saturday,
Okay.
Friday, Sunday rather.
Cool. Tell us how it is. Tell us how it is.
Will do.
Yep. Excellent. We're good to go.
Great. Yeah.
What are we having for dinner?
Pizza.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. And for those listening on the replay, enjoy. And for anyone who has questions, let me know. Also, if you have ideas for future topics, let me know because I am keeping track. And really wonderful. Okay, everyone. So great to see you all. And I will see you in 2 weeks, if not sooner.
Okay.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Nice.